Alright, I think we might be in a better spot light-wise for you guys to be able to see the books that I'm going to read. So, one we're going to read that's probably pretty familiar, and then one that's maybe a new one for some of you. So we'll read the new one first. This book is called A River. This is what it looks like. So let's see what happens. And here's a little girl sitting at her desk in front of a window overlooking a city, and she's drawing. Let's see if I can get us all in here. There we go. That's all right. There is a river outside my window. From where I sit, I can see it stretching into the distance in both directions. Sometimes I imagine myself floating along the river, swept away in a silver boat toward the horizon. Where will it take me? It goes through the city, under bridges, past the speeding cars that zoom by, in an endless stream of busyness. It looks like the Schuylkill. It flows beside the factories with their machines grinding and plumes of smoke rising into the sky. It carries me past the farms and animals and moves beyond the fields that look like giant patchwork quilts. It slides into the hills and valleys, and I can hear the murmuring of water that grows louder and takes me tumbling down a waterfall taller than any building. The river flows into the jungle, and I can hear lots of animals, gibbons, bats, and all kinds of birds. Deep in the jungle, it's very dark. I can feel many eyes watching me. As I sail through the mangroves, the river opens up and takes me to the ocean. It's windier now, and the air smells of salt and seaweed. If I peer over the edge of my boat, I can see many fish swimming in and out of the light. When I look up, I see clouds moving. And it's difficult to see where I am, but I can hear raindrops on a window, and as the clouds clear, I'm sitting in my room again, looking through those raindrops on the glass, and gazing out across the sleeping city. And I think I see my silver boat floating in the moonlight, drifting past my window once more. And there she is again. But it's nighttime now. She's looking out on the dark city and drawing. All right, friends. I know you all know this one. Well, most of you probably know this one. This is a really fun one. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. Looks like my daughter drew on her book. And another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. Oh, Robin. and in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Here they go. It does look like a wild time. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world he smelled good things to eat, so he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No!" The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. All right, friends. Remember, if you're feeling lonely or you're missing the Blue Jays, I know I am, just think that where you are right now, you are with somebody who loves you best of all. Home with family, spending some time with the people who really care about us. So enjoy your time with your family. We miss you so much. And I'll see you like this again tomorrow. Bye.